This is John Loughran Viewed Your Profile. This episode's guest is Leanna Chin from CMI Media Group. Hey everyone, happy fall. Weather's getting cooler, football's back, baseball playoffs are on the horizon. Sorry to my Yankee and Met fans friends for bringing that up. I know that's a sore subject, but anyway, go Phils. They just clinched their playoff berth last night. What a time to be alive. It's also planning season. Make sure you're sending those RFPs to john.lochran at mdcalc.com. Thank you very much. Let's see what else is new. It's travel soccer season, and apparently my 9-year-old plays in the MLS because we've been driving 2 hours to her games recently. It's just absolutely insane. I've got two kids in travel, if you haven't heard me mention that before. Pretty much eats up my entire social life. They practice every night of the week and play pretty much both days of the weekend. So, pretty crazy. But fortunately, the other parents on the team are really cool, and they're in the same boat as us. We just had a doubleheader up in between Bethlehem and Scranton the other day, and stopped for lunch and downed a couple pitchers of beers in between the games. AMM plug alert. Looks like AMM is bringing back bowling this year with their annual fall fundraiser event being Pins for a Purpose Friendsgiving Edition. Tuesday, November 14th, 2023 from 6 to 9 at Bolero in Times Square. This year's philanthropy, Feeding America, is the largest hunger relief organization in the United States. Unfortunately, I'm much better at ping pong than I am at bowling, but that's nothing that a good beer tower can't help. Let's make this an amazing event. Check out amm.org/pins hyphen for hyphen a hyphen purpose for more information. I can't think of anything else interesting to talk about. Just been super busy with my new job. I've also been enjoying getting back to seeing people in person. As charming as I am on the computer, I'm way more likable in person. So thank you guys for being willing to see me. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into this episode's interview. As always, I have an awesome guest. She's smart, fun, and we're back to someone in media, which is great. She is, after much technical difficulty, I'm so sorry, Leanna Chin, Vice President, Media Coaching and Support at CMI. Hello and happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Hi.
So you must be massively hungover because you just turned 21. You probably did 21 shots. Sorry, this is how I know how to.
I did 21 shots of Shirley Temples. I do not even drink like that.
You're smart. You're smart because it gets you nowhere. It's that's very good. Shirley Temples. That's actually my 12-year-old loves Shirley Temples. And so does Joel Embiid from the Philadelphia 76ers. I know he's a big fan. That's interesting. How have you been? How's summer been? What's going on?
Good. Summer was fast and furious. I didn't do much over the summer. Just hung out with the kids, taking it easy. We took a trip to Jamaica like we do every year. That was
Nice.
fun. And we just closed on our house, a new house. So
Awesome. Congratulations.
thank you.
That's a big deal. Are you moving far?
No, I moved across the street from my old house.
I know you told me about this already, but we weren't recording at that point. So
I mean, everybody else doesn't know. So yeah, I'm moving
yeah,
across the street.
that's cool. That's cool. Well, congratulations. That's super exciting
Thank you.
that you're moving. So it's good to hear you've been traveling, and now I made a big introduction in the beginning of this before you haven't even seen this yet, but I was welcoming everybody to fall. Are you a fan of fall? Is it a season you enjoy?
You know what? Even though it's my birthday season, it's one of my least favorite seasons because of the weather. I really hate having to possibly bring a jacket. It's really hot, but then it's freezing. and that's why everyone's sick. So no,
Yeah.
I don't like the fall.
What's your preferred? Do you like the hot? Do you like the cold?
Summer, definitely
Do you like
summer.
summer?
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
mind winter just because I'm set on. I have my mindset. I have to wear a coat. I have to wear
Yep.
warm shoes. That's it. Spring and fall are not my thing.
So basically, as long as you know what the weather is, whether it's hot
Exactly.
or it's cold, it's this bullshit when it's could be either that you're
Right.
not a fan of. Okay.
Right. Right.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm super excited to
Of
chat.
course.
I'm just going to dive right into the hard hitting questions that the loyal viewers,
I hope it's viewers and not
there's,
viewers.
there's viewers, the loyal viewers are become accustomed to. So, I look at your LinkedIn profile. You have I should call you Dr. Chin. You seem to have gone to a lot of schooling. You have a very extensive education. Can you tell us where'd you go to school?
I went to undergrad at Boston University.
Nice.
I studied communication there with a focus on advertising.
Very cool.
Actually took a media planning and buying class all the way back then. And
Wow.
I'm saying
It
back then,
wasn't
where I
that long ago. It wasn't that long ago.
I mean, you are older than I am. I did graduate a little while ago, but yeah, they all
Nobody needs to know when you graduated. Nobody needs to know how many shots you did on your birthday. It's all good.
right. They had media planning and buying there as a course, and that's how I got my first taste of media back in college. Yeah.
Nice.
Hmm.
Nice. How I think I know where you're from, but
Hmm.
how did you end up going to Boston? You're not from Boston, are you?
Yeah, I
You
am.
are?
I grew up in Boston. I moved to Boston when I was 9.
Oh, okay.
And I stayed there right through college. I didn't like Boston. Anyone who knows me knows I didn't really like growing up there. I think it's something with me being born in Brooklyn and
Okay.
like carrying that with New York swagger
Yeah.
from birth. And I was just like, Mom, what are we doing here? Why are we in Boston? But I had plans to go to a HBCU actually for undergrad, and I ended up staying in Boston because of like I got a great package from BU. I got a full ride actually. So I ended up staying. I was like, well, Boston it is for
What
another 4 years.
BU? What are they? The Terriers?
Yep.
Is that what they are?
Yep.
Nice.
Terriers. I'm glad I went there. I met my husband there too.
Nice.
Hmm.
I have a Yorkshire Terrier. It's my 6-pound dog. She's my best friend. So
Cute.
nice. So you went to Boston University for your undergrad, but
Mhm.
like I said, you've did much schooling. I think you have an MBA, I want to
Yes.
say.
I have an MBA in marketing.
Where'd
I
you get that at?
I went to Seton Hall.
I'm
Actually,
like quizzing you at this point about your life. Tell me, do you know where you went? Seton Hall.
no, I hesitated because I actually started at Montclair State
Oh,
first,
okay.
and I ended up I started my MBA when I had my first son,
Oh,
and
okay.
I don't know, I just Montclair State wasn't really like it just wasn't working out for me, the location and everything. I transferred over to Seton Hall. I live in West Orange, so Seton Hall is pretty very close, like a 10-minute, 15-minute ride the most.
Okay.
It just worked out for me and my family situation, and I ended up liking it a lot. I would wear my BU hoodie on campus all the time because I refused to buy anything that said Seton Hall. I have like one of those Seton Hall magnets
Yeah.
that my son stuck all over my car. That's the only reason why anyone knows I went to Seton Hall for my MBA, but I did enjoy my time there. I finally figured out how to be a student.
Yeah.
I like that their program focused on ethics. I think that's
Okay.
really important as you're living in or working in the business field, that you
Sure.
have ethics at the forefront of everything you do.
That's my favorite scene from Billy Madison is when he chooses business ethics and the guy like that he's going against, the bad guy falls apart. He has no ethics.
See?
So ethics are important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's great. So my oldest sister actually
Mhm.
went to Seton Hall, and I was there 2 or 3 times visiting her. And when you went for your MBA, I mean, did you live there, or was it kind of like while you were working, one of those things? I don't know how it
No,
works.
I worked. I was a mom. I didn't live there at all. It was like just a different experience than BU. It was BU's really conservative.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the dead center of the city. It was so conservative. Seton Hall, though it's a Catholic school, there's just so much more life. Maybe everyone's just so much younger than I was on the
Nice.
campus that I was just like, hmm, this campus feels so alive when I'm here. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, it was just a good experience. I didn't really spend much time outside of like just going there. I did utilize like the facilities to study, just so I
Okay.
could focus a lot. But yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. So when you were at BU, did you like were you more of a socialite at undergrad? That I know getting your MBA is tough because you're working, you're juggling, you're
Mm.
momming. Um, but was BU? I mean, was that a
We
fun time?
it was fun in that I met my closest friends there, and like I said, my
Nice.
husband there.
Yeah.
Um so it was really fun for me. I started a dance group there. The dance group
Nice.
lasted 15 years and
Wow.
yeah, after we left. So that was amazing. I didn't think that that would last after we graduated, but it kept going.
That's super cool. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm still tight with my knucklehead college friends, and we still have a text chain, even though we graduated years ago. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little crazy, but um, anyway, so anybody who watches this knows I do extensive research on my guests. And
Mhm.
I found that you wrote an article in the September 2017 issue of the Healthcare Marketers Exchange. Do you have any recollection of what that article was about?
I feel like it was about travel and
Ding, ding, ding. Yes.
recommended spots in your favorite place to
Something
travel.
like, yeah, it
Something.
was something like that. You know, it's funny. I wrote these questions like 2 weeks ago. And right before we started talking, I was reading through it and I was like, oh crap, what was that article about? But then I remembered. And you actually mentioned it or mentioned something that reminded me because you said you just went to Jamaica like you do
Yes.
every
Yeah.
year. It was about going to Jamaica.
Right.
And I think you talked in it about taking your son, which
Mhm.
I think at the time you just had the one.
Yeah, I
How
just
many
had one at the
how many
time.
kids do you have?
I have three now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Right. Thank you. As we were talking about my MBA, I actually, when I started it, I only had one. And then by the time I finished, I crossed the stage when I had my third. Like he was born in March and I walked across the stage because of COVID, um, in May. So like right after I had him. So it's just
Wow.
so funny how it came full circle like that. But yeah, when I wrote that article, it was only one. And Jamaica is near and dear to me. My family is from Jamaica. It's been ingrained in me. A lot of my friends and that I meet, people think I was born there, but I wasn't. I'm one of 8 children, and
Wow.
all of my other siblings were born there. I'm the only one born in America. So there's a lot of culture going on, a lot of local dialect going on in my house growing up. My husband now born and raised in Jamaica. Um,
Nice.
so my son, from all of the children, when they're babies, we take them to Jamaica just so that they can feel that close bond like I do with my culture. It's
Sure.
important to us that our kids, grow up with that strong culture.
Absolutely. That's great. So do you have all boys?
No,
Yeah, that would be great. That would be tough.
I have two boys though and one girl. And funny
Okay.
enough, it's my girl that gives me the run for my money.
I fully believe you.
Oh,
I have two
your
girls,
girls are
and they
a
are,
win. How old
yeah.
are they now?
My oldest just turned 12,
Oh my
and
gosh.
my little one is going to be 10 in about a week. I
Oh
think
my
we actually have
goodness.
a birthday party this weekend, and we're going to have a bunch of little girls sleeping over our house, and
Yeah.
we're prepping for that. And
Oh,
yeah,
oh. Good
good
luck.
stuff. It's good
Yeah.
stuff. So again, with the extensive research, not only do I look at LinkedIn and see if you wrote an article in the Exchange, I actually tried Googling you,
Mhm.
and you might have to. I always, every time I drive down 95 in Philly, I always see these billboards for like these SEO companies that'll improve your search engine optimization. You might want to look into one of those,
I
because
don't want
if
anyone
you
looking it up. Looking me
if
up.
you Google Leanna Chin, it changes it to Leanne Chin, which apparently is a Chinese food restaurant chain in Minnesota. Have you ever been there?
No, I have not, but I ever since it opened, like I keep getting random texts from people like, yo, because my name is not very common. I have a Chinese last name. My husband's Chinese Jamaican. So I get
Nice.
that shocked look a lot of times when I'm like, thanks, Cedric.
You know, it was the craziest thing. I was like, I fell down a rabbit hole. It doesn't take much to distract me. So I clicked on this Leanna Chin, or Leanne Chin,
Hmm.
and I'm reading about it. And apparently, Sean Connery, the actor, like was an investor in this restaurant chain, which I thought was interesting. But I don't think anybody else will find
It's
that interesting.
so random. It's
It's
so
so random.
random. I wonder if it's his homegirl or
I
like
don't know. Who
previous love
knows?
interest.
It's possible. I mean, Sean Connery is a very attractive older man. I think he's still alive. I have to look that up. So that's what I'm going to do after we get off the
Yeah,
call
because he
here.
was old when I was young, like a kid. Like
Yeah, he
he's
was
always
always
been old.
older. Yeah, he played Indiana Jones's dad. Uh,
See, and Indiana Jones is old,
Indiana
old
Jones is
now.
old now. Yeah, so I hope Sean Connery's still alive. I'm a big fan of Sean Connery. I have to look that up. Anyway, this is me like drifting off course.
And I'm
Um,
the right person to drift with, so I'll just follow you. Like, yeah, man, you're right.
Nice, nice. All right, so let's get back to another fan favorite question, staple of the show. How did you get started in the industry? I know you had media planning and buying classes in college, but how
Mhm.
did you actually get into this industry?
You know what? I've always worked in pharma, advertising right out of college. And in undergrad, they talk about some of the big sexy agencies, like, well, at least in Boston, Hill Holiday's like a big one. Um, I forget some of the other ones, but farmers, no one ever talks about farmers. So
Sure.
a recruiter actually contacted me, and I was having a hard time finding a job, and they said, there's a opening, actually as an account executive, um, or in the account group actually, they didn't even tell me it was a pharmaceutical advertising agency. They just said it's advertising. I show up and I'm in the interview, and like, they're like, hey, do you like science? I was like, I love science. I do. I love it.
Yeah.
That's
In
so
an
funny.
interview, you say, "Sure, of course."
Yeah. Sure,
Yes.
I like science. And
Yeah.
I started out in the account group at another agency, CDM.
Yeah.
I started, and I was there for like a year, and my team, um everyone resigned for some reason that first
Mm,
year. So it was like me and one team member left, and she's like, well, what do you want to do? Like, and I said, you know what? I like to try media.
yeah.
So one of my friends in the mailroom actually introduced me to Joanna Tompatrini.
Hmm.
And Joanna, I always call her my media mama. She's probably gonna kill me if she sees this, but she's my media mama. I was introduced to her, and she brought me into the department, and her and I worked together from way back then in like 2007 or 8 straight till 2020.
Yeah, I feel
in
like
some
I feel
capacity.
like that's when we met. You were at, I think,
Yeah.
SSCJ.
Yeah, I was a Teenage
Um,
Mutant Ninja Turtle back then. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it was CDM first, CDM was
yeah,
and then SSCG. So yeah,
yeah,
that's how I got started
nice, nice.
back then.
So it's funny you say that, people don't really talk about pharma media. This is I literally, I'm just listening to you talk, and it spurned in my brain to give a plug to your employer, CMI. I just
Yeah.
saw something in like a major publication or something outlet named them like one of the
Best place to work.
best places to work. Or
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, that's, pretty crazy for CMI to be getting that kind of recognition.
Right.
When
I've enjoyed my time here. That's why I'm still here. I'm a boomeranger. People who leave and come back. It happens a lot
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Um, I've enjoyed all of the connections and just working with really smart, talented people, always trying to find new ways to improve in what we do and are passionate about what we do every day. Um, is what's kept me in the industry. I actually left after I finished my MBA. I left the industry altogether during COVID. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I did. I just my life just looked different, and I have 3 children now, and you know, I was able to make some or tap into some of my connections back at CMI. And, I said, I want to come back in the industry, and they welcomed me back with open arms. Had a lot of discussions about what is it that I like to do? What am I passionate about? When I left, I was a director of media. I'd been
Mhm.
in media for a long time, and they knew that I was passionate about training, mentoring, talent development, and was given an opportunity to join our university learning services department as a VP of media coaching and support.
You know what? You must have gotten these questions in advance, because I swear I was just going to ask you that it says your current title is media coaching and support, and I wanted to know what that is. So,
Yeah, so it was actually the position that was created for me. Like I said, I expressed an interest in coaching, mentoring, and training. And what I do is I help other media planners identify their strengths and capitalize on their strengths. And I help even some teams identify any knowledge gaps on their team and come up with a individualized approach to um, addressing those gaps. What's interesting about my position is that I do not belong to a client. I'm part of the training team, so it's a safe space. People find me to be a safe space where they can really be open and honest about where they are in terms of their skill set and knowledge, and I can help them address those any kind of gaps they've identified or areas that they don't feel as confident in, and help to coach them up to be the best that they can be at their jobs. I feel like I've struggled over the years as a media planner. There were parts of the job that I just did not feel confident. I've done it a million times and I just didn't feel as comfortable in certain areas. And if it
mhm.
wasn't for my manager seeing that I wasn't as comfortable in this area and helping me to empower me in other areas while working on some of those other areas that I didn't feel as confident in, I probably wouldn't be here today or help to be able to coach other people in that same position to really empower them and like, no, you can do this. You just have to get over this little hump. So it's really approaching training and coaching from an individual perspective, not a one size fit all, if that makes sense.
That makes
Um,
sense. Yeah.
I know that's such a roundabout. I do a lot here in my current role, but it really is helping to help people to identify their strengths and capitalize on those strengths so that they can feel good and confident in strengthening those other areas that they don't feel as confident in. We really want to move away from discounting individuals just because they lack in a certain area or discrediting them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you are good in these areas and it's fine. Let's take on these projects to help you feel more confident and grow
Yeah.
in your role while we work on these other areas. There's no one who's good in like the 10 things that we need to do on a day-to-day basis. There's a guarantee
Yeah.
there's gonna be 2 to 3 that you're not as great in, but if you're empowered in the 7, you feel okay to work on those 3. So we want to
Yeah.
make sure we're not missing out on any talent by discrediting an individual
Sure.
just
Yeah, you
because
want to you want to you
they're
want to
able
play to your players' strengths, and
right,
so that's great.
right, right.
Yeah, I like to make sports analogies. So, um,
You know what? I do too, and I've never even played. Like I always say, like that. A lot of times in my day to day, I talk about like because sometimes I work with full teams at all levels, and I'm just like, hey, you got a point guard there. Let them point guard, and then let them get in
yeah,
where they fit in, and let them shine and feel good about what they're doing, about their job overall. And then we can work on some of the other areas. Yeah, they need to defend sometimes and whatever, but we'll work on that later. Let's just try to empower the individual at what they are good at, and then we'll
yeah,
work on other areas.
that's
So I
awesome.
feel you. I do those analogies too, even though I never played a sport.
Yeah, I talk in probably too many sports analogies, but it's fun. So you mentioned Joanna Tapatrini. Was she like a mentor for you? Did you have any other mentors that, now that you're into coaching, do you think back of the people that impacted your career?
Yeah, I would say I have a few mentors. I would also put her in the category of an advocate. And I've kind of learned to differentiate the two. There's other individuals that you tap in for advice and experiences, and then you have your advocates, and she's definitely one I would put as an advocate, where there's individuals that even when you're doubting yourself, they're like, no, I've witnessed what you can do and your abilities, and this is, they speak on my behalf, and like, no, have you spoken to Leanna? She can do this, and this. I've gotten exposure to so many opportunities because of different advocates. Another one, Shannon O'Malley,
Nice.
Becky Frederick. There's a few people that you probably know them, um,
Yeah, I know
that
these
I
names.
would put as mentors and advocates of myself, that I have been afforded um, plenty opportunities because of them, and them being huge advocates of me in my career. So
That's great. That's great. That's awesome to hear. It's there's a lot of good names you're dropping here. So good
right.
stuff. So you're kind of a big deal. I don't know if you knew
Get
this.
out of here.
No, I saw in my stalking research that you moderated something for the CMI Media Group WPP that was called Pathways to Leadership.
Right.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. It was actually put on by um our Brave ERG internally at CMI Media Group in combination with WPP. And what it was called Pathways to Leadership, you're correct. And it was a panel that highlighted BIPOC leadership throughout the WPP network. So we had other leaders from other sister agencies come and speak on the panel and share their pathway to leadership. It was nice to have representation from our different sister agencies. And we have just moved to a different office within WPP. 3 World Trade Center is our New York location now. And it was just a nice welcome. We had only been there for less than a month when the panel took place, or actually probably about a month or so. So we had a really warm welcome from WPP.
Nice.
So yeah, the panel took place. We got a great turnout, great conversation. And it was basically, we talked about how to feel empowered and comfortable being your authentic self in your pathway to leadership. And we felt like it was an important conversation to have, and it was great to have the support from CMI Media Group and WPP on a whole, to have that conversation. It was scary as heck. It was my first panel, but it was a rewarding experience and it touched a lot of people, even outside of the BIPOC community, other individuals that are struggling with different things that we talked a lot about, like imposter syndrome, anxiety, asserting yourself in certain meetings, doing things your way. I know for myself, I always get concerned that I'm a little too colloquial when I express myself, but I've come to find out that all these years, fast forward, I do things my way. I know what I'm talking about. I'm an expert in what I'm talking about. So, and I said this in the panels, it's like, if you can't focus on the content that's coming out of my mouth, that's on you. That's not on me. And I'm just going to say it the way that I feel comfortable expressing it. I'm not saying anything crazy or anything like that, but like, I get a little bit worried about my image because I'm not doing things the way that I see other people doing it, it's okay to do things my way or speak
Yeah.
the way I speak.
Like I said, you're a big deal. You do it's all I can think about. Like, I always feel like I'm the dumbest person in the room when I talk to all these people that I interview. But I was impressed. You just dropped a colloquial. Your years of education are clearly showing through. And
Get out of here. Get out of here.
that's a big word. That's a big
I
word.
just like, you know what, John, it's important for me for people to see themselves inside of me. So I am very uncomfortable with public speaking or even like doing something like this. It's
Yeah.
not really stuff that I like to do, but I feel like if I can help someone else or someone else is feeling the same kind of feelings that I do in their professional life and it's impacting their growth and impacting how much they put themselves out there to advance, then I'm going to try to just push past myself and share my experience.
Nice, nice. So I can tell this is a segue into the last question because I don't want to hold you up too long. I know it's crazy busy season right now. But it sounds like you're, super passionate about everything that you just talked about for the last couple minutes. Are there any other passions that you have or, that you feel strongly about that oh boy, this is another first.
What?
Oh, okay, that wasn't too bad. I think that was the smoke alarm in my house. Just,
Change the batteries.
I think that's what I have to do. I thought that was going to go off. Oh my god, it's been a fun day of technical difficulties and stuff. But anyway, passions. You got any passions?
I, Outside of what I just talked about, like,
Well, that's enough. I mean, that's enough to be passionate.
like, I'm so passionate there. No, but I would just say, just straightforward, as a Black female in the pharma industry, and not seeing a lot of people that look like me, I feel, again, very passionate about sharing my experience and what I've done to get where I am now, any
Mhm.
challenges that I've encountered and how I've overcame them. I'm always willing and open to talk to anyone. If anyone's watching and they want to reach out to me, feel free
Yeah.
to reach out to me. I'm always an open ear
It's
for
at
anything.
L Chin at cmimediagroup.com.
Yep.
I'll flash that on the screen when I do my editing magic.
And
Um,
bubble font.
yeah. Anything else before I let you go that you wanted to talk about? I know we covered a lot of topics. Anything that I'm missing that you wanted to let the world know?
No, I think I'm good. I just want to thank you so much for reaching out and having me on the show.
Yeah.
I'm outside of the media world now, but I do actually, this is like another good, I do still like to keep my ear out there to the ground to see what's going on in the media world. I am part of the Point of Care Center of Excellence here at CMI Media Group, pushing that channel and you know, educating our agency on what's happening, what's new. So
Yeah.
I'm continuing to meet with other suppliers out there in
We may or may not have just met.
Right. Yeah, so I'm happy to come on and speak with you just because sometimes I'm missing just because I'm not in media like that anymore. I'm not planning anymore, but I am part of the Center of Excellence still. So I do still make recommendations to the agency on what's new and hot in the point of care field.
Nice. Nice. Well, thank you so much for accepting the invite to join me, and it's so great catching up. It was awesome, that meeting we may or may not have had recently, to catch up with you. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for everything. And if you got nothing else you want to share, I'll let you run, and we'll catch up again soon.
All right, take care.
All right, you too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's all we got for this time. So thank you guys so much for watching, and enjoy your fall. Talk soon. Peace.